Blinded by the Micronova. Huh. You know, I gotta say, that's a new one for me.
Yeah.
A song about a micronova. You've got my attention now. What is it about these lyrics that made you want to dig into this?
Well, I mean, the title alone, right?
Right.
Micronova, that just screams cosmic event, raw energy.
Yeah.
Not exactly your typical song subject matter, is it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it definitely sets the stage for something, well, kind of out there, you know?
Out there is right. And the lyrics themselves, whoa, they're just full of these crazy, vivid images.
Well, for sure.
Like that line, starlight in the distance,
Yeah.
burning up resistance. I mean, you really get this sense of like vastness, just this incredible power at work.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me think about breaking free from limitations, embracing the unknown. What do you think?
Oh, you nailed it. It's all about change, this song, I mean. Like, maybe even this radical, transformation. Right.
That micronova, this crazy, powerful, stellar explosion, that becomes the metaphor, right? Like the force behind all this change.
Wow. Yeah. That's some powerful imagery, huh?
Well,
Makes you actually, like, feel the immensity of it all.
yeah, definitely.
And then there's that other line, dancing through the badness, light will break the sadness. It's like this whole journey of, I don't know, overcoming hardship, finding that hope even in the darkest places.
Right. Exactly. The song's really hammering home that resilience,
Mm-hmm.
and that repetition, those phrases like blinded and spinning. It just reinforces that feeling of being overwhelmed, maybe a little lost even, but still, you're caught up in something so much bigger than yourself.
Totally, totally. And speaking of being swept up, gotta talk about that line, that cosmic clover. Now, that's not something you hear every day, is it? So, I gotta say, I'm hooked.
Right.
What do you make of that cosmic clover?
That's where the song takes, well, a turn. And I mean that in a good way, of course. It's not a term you'll ever find in any astronomy textbook.
Huh.
This is pure artistic license here.
Right, right.
This is the artist inviting us to find our own meaning in it.
So, if we're talking artistic license, could this cosmic clover be, I don't know, some symbol of resilience? Like finding that tiny bit of luck, that little glimmer of hope, even when everything's just chaos?
Exactly. It could be that. Absolutely. It could be about that ability to find, beauty, strength in those places you'd least expect it.
Right.
Or, maybe the artist is just playing with that scientific idea of a micronova, but in a more abstract way. That makes sense.
Right. Like they're using it as this jumping off point for these bigger themes, like change and renewal, all that.
All that imagery, the spinning and the blinded, it really made me wonder about the actual event, this micronova thing.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about this? Well, I guess it's a cosmic phenomenon, right?
Yeah, so a micronova, it's a fairly recent discovery, actually.
Right.
Yeah, first observed in 2022. So they're smaller than supernovae, sure, but we're still talking about these crazy, powerful stellar explosions. Imagine a star, right? Like a lot like our sun, but it's reached the end of its life, and it just collapses in on itself, becomes incredibly dense.
Right.
And that dense leftover, that's what we call a white dwarf. So now picture this white dwarf. It's pulling in all this material from a nearby star. This material, it builds up on the surface of the white dwarf, and when there's enough pressure, boom, micronova.
Wow. Okay. So we've got this incredible, almost impossible to imagine event happening millions of light years away.
Right.
And here we are connecting it to this song, to these very human experiences. Change, resilience, finding meaning, all of that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Music has this way of taking these huge, crazy, complex ideas and, I don't know, making them feel personal, making them relatable, makes you think about everything that's going on out there in the universe that we just can't see, but it's there.
Yeah.
Mirrored in our own lives, even.
Exactly. So, I mean, as we, really get into these lyrics, what stands out to you? What really connects with you? Is it that feeling of being overwhelmed by change, that feeling of being blinded and spinning? Or is it the hopefulness, the light breaking through, finding your own little, I don't know, cosmic clover in the middle of all the chaos?
I don't know, blinded by the micronova. It offers this really powerful reflection of our own journeys, It reminds us that even when things are changing so much you can barely see straight, even when you feel lost, completely disoriented, there's still beauty to be found. There's strength to be gained.
Yeah, I guess.
And maybe, just maybe, with a little luck, our own cosmic clover is out there just waiting for us to discover it. Right?
That's a beautiful thought, really. It makes you wonder if somewhere out there, in all that vastness of space, someone maybe on a planet orbiting a white dwarf is looking up at a micronova
Yeah.
and feeling that same sense of awe and inspiration that we are right now.
Yeah, maybe they are.
Right.
Maybe they are.